Well, sometimes actions taken by private agents in the economy yield benefits over and above the benefits enjoyed by participants in the market. And we call these situations positive externalities. The positive externalities are the benefits that happen for the people that don't participate in the market. So when you remodel your home and improve your landscaping, yes, your own property value rises, but the property value of your neighbors rises as well. And it's that rise in the neighbor's property value that we call an externality, and indeed a positive externality. It turns out that even when externalities are positive, markets will fail to bring about the best outcome. Of course, the policy action in response to a positive externality is very different. So let's look at that case a little more carefully. So I've set up this baseline case where we have a competitive market for whooping cough vaccines. That's in the news lately. It seems to always be in the news. We'll first start with this no externality case. And just to remind you, this downward sloping demand curve, the people the most at risk would value the vaccine the most, we'd presume, unless they listen to discredited researchers who purported to find a link between autism and vaccines. That's been thoroughly debunked, but it's like a religion for some people and not amenable to scientific analysis. Anyway, so let's suppose we have this downward sloping demand curve for vaccines, which is also the marginal private value function. For the same reason as before, we have this upward sloping short-run supply curve, also the marginal private cost curve. Let's also suppose there's no negative externalities associated with vaccines, so the marginal private costs and the marginal social costs are the same. In the competitive market case without externalities, the private market outcome is efficient, is socially best. It maximizes surplus because that's where there are no externalities, marginal social value, marginal social cost. If we produced one more vaccine, we'd be reducing welfare. If we produce one less vaccine, we'd be reducing welfare. Same analysis as before. But now, for the positive externality case, let's explore the positive externality case. First, I'm going to change my pen color to green, a very happy color, for me anyway. And what I'm going to do is say, okay, well now let's think about the case where we have positive externality. Positive. Sorry. Oh, I still misspelled it. Just have to make that one I instead of two I's. All right. So now let's think about this positive externality case. Well, in this case, there are benefits that accrue to people outside the market. So there's external benefits. So we have this marginal social value function that's all the marginal private values plus these external benefits. So we count the private benefits plus the external benefits as we calculate marginal social value. So now, because of these values to people outside the market, notice if we stop at the market, where the market stops, there are plenty of vaccines where the benefits are less than the costs from the society's perspective. But if we let the market decide how much vaccination happens, we have too little. The socially best outcome happens at Q star. So the market has failed. We call the deadweight loss in this situation, if we don't do anything about it, it's this triangle, deadweight loss. And unlike the case where we produce too much, the deadweight loss for a positive externality is a missed opportunity. If we had produced more, this triangle of surplus would have been realized. We could have increased social surplus, but instead we didn't. We stopped at Q naught instead of getting the market to Q star. So this deadweight loss would be a missed opportunity. Benefits in excess of costs, but that it didn't happen because we didn't intervene to fix this market failure because of the positive externality. So that's the analysis of the social loss if we don't do anything about this public health issue. This spillover to other people is the public health issue. What should be done? Well, in fact, there's all sorts of requirements that externalities, that vaccines happen. Obamacare requires preventative care of many types to be offered free by or covered fully by a health insurance company, offered free by Kaiser, et cetera. I think Kaiser already did that. Yay, Kaiser. Flu shots, et cetera. Kaiser captures the benefit when they don't have to treat the illness. If vaccinating is much cheaper than treating the illness. But a lot of insurers before Obamacare didn't do that because they typically, health insurers had their patients only for a year or two and then they switch. Their company gets a better plan or a different plan, whatever, and then so the private insurance company says, well, I'm not going to pay for the preventative care when some other insurance company is going to capture the benefit down the road. Under Obamacare, they have to provide that preventative care, including vaccinations, for free. All right, so what do you do? So you can mandate vaccinations. Probably makes sense given that we have this sense that 100% of school children, say, should be vaccinated. Turns out I guess I didn't explain the positive externality associated with vaccination. You guys are all in the health profession, so you probably know it without me saying it, but I should say it. When someone gets vaccinated, they're increasing the proportion of people in the society that are vaccinated, and that reduces the risk of illness, even for people that haven't been vaccinated. And for people that have been vaccinated. It turns out if you've been vaccinated, there's still some chance you could get the disease. But if it doesn't happen in the society because everybody's been vaccinated, well then you're not going to get it. So there's this phenomenon where more people vaccinated, even the people that don't get vaccinated, they're better off. Their health is higher. So that's the externality effect. All right, what do you do? You can mandate, getting back to the point I was starting before, but for a lot of reasons, for a lot of positive externalities, this same guy Pagoo who pointed out how positive taxing negative externalities is, how beneficial that kind of intervention can be. Pagoo also pointed out that, hey, the right policy in the presence of a positive externality would be to subsidize. And if we, let's say this vertical distance is the marginal external cost at that, at the marginal external value at the socially optimum point. If we knew that and we subsidized, we gave people whatever that, this is small s for subsidy, not big S for supply. I see there's not much difference in how I do that. If we subsidize the vaccine, well then we move this private demand curve to be the same as the social demand curve because we're willing to pay whatever we have to out of pocket, but then we're going to get that subsidy. That's going to kick up our willingness to pay, and a subsidy can move the market to the optimal amount. Now, of course, one reason why mandates for government are a little bit more politically palatable than subsidies, or even where the subsidy is clearly the better choice. To offer a subsidy, politicians have to tax somebody in the economy, and people generally carp about increases in their taxes. So pulling off a subsidy can be pretty tricky. But a subsidy is often preferred to mandates because oftentimes we have situations where, yeah, more people should be getting vaccinated or getting the good that has positive externalities, but the social optimum doesn't necessarily coincide with 100% of people getting the good or service in question. And a subsidy has the beauty of attracting the people who value the good most first and value the good least last. And so the distribution of who actually gets the good is welfare enhancing over and above a mandate or other way of getting the increase. That's a finer point that you don't need to worry about, but it's important in the grander scheme of things.